I'm Greg Brann, and I'm with Big Spring Farm, and I'm in Adolphus, Kentucky. We have 675 total acres and 200 acres in grass. And as far as animal units, or acres per animal unit, run about 2 acres per animal unit. In general, I'm on a 45-day rotation. And I've got 16 permanent paddocks and 45 temporary paddocks. I like the word adaptive grazing management because you can change and be flexible and use different grazing management based on what the animal's looking like and as well as the grass, and just need to be flexible in grazing management. With grazing management, I think most people think, well, I don't have time for that. But it's just a different allocation of time. You've got to look at the whole. And we're not cutting as much hay, we're not feeding as much, and not having to mow as much, not having to fertilize as much, not having to lime as much. And then able to run higher stocking rates that are still maintaining the grass height. It's just visually it's exciting to see all the grass vigor and the regrowth so quick where you've managed well. Resiliency is very important, especially with the thoughts of climate change and things like diseases like COVID. Even if they hit our animals, how would they bounce back, and how would the plants do with extreme drought, and how would the soils react? The functioning of the soil is very important. It's alive, and we want resilience in it. We want the soil to have airspace and moisture holding capacity and some carbon flow so that it keeps those carbon coatings on the aggregates and has some stability to it. But you can see it's got a granular structure. Medium to strong granular structure, and this is a silt loam soil. Not all soils are going to look the same. Can't have the same expectations for all soils. But there's coatings on these aggregates that protect them. And the cool thing about the aggregates is there's pore space between them. See, there's some real strong aggregates up where the roots are stronger, and there's carbon coatings on that to protect them. And if we don't maintain that carbon flow, then the soil will collapse because the soil life will eat up the coatings if they don't have another carbon source. And that's the simplest way, I think, to look at soil health is if we don't continually feed the soil life, they eat up the coatings, the soil collapses, and it'll become platy, flat layers across it, and water won't infiltrate, the roots won't go as deep. So it's important that we continuously have a carbon flow, and carbon is energy. It becomes carbohydrates, it becomes organic matter once we capture it, but if we don't capture it, it's just lost energy. But every 1% organic matter will release 25 pounds of nitrogen. So 4%, 100 pounds of nitrogen. Most university recommendations are for about 100 pounds of N on grass per year. And it's slow release since it's an organic source. But as far as soil health in a nutshell, and looking at the soil and managing soil health for the future and improving it, is to have that living roots year-round, and that might include, like I planted some barley and wheat in the crabgrass. That added some roots for the winter. The crabgrass is there, the fescue's there. We got some perennials, got summer annuals, winter annuals, got some legumes. So, and then that gets into diversity. And I have seeded turnips so many times. I have a lot of volunteer turnips too. Brassicas, forbs, chicory, those things add to the diversity of plants and rooting structures. But I'm trying to build the soil structure so those aggregates are bigger and there's more pore space to hold moisture and air space, and more place for the soil life, and better infiltration of water so we can maintain more water availability for the plants and get more growth and more even distribution of growth even in some of the dry times. So, you know, it's a journey. It's not like a destination. You need to just keep it going, keep that carbon cycling, and